So yesterday was interesting. Nintendo and Monolith Soft decided to announce Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is, that's pretty cool. It's I wonder if there's any fans out there. It seems like a pretty niche game. But for me personally, I'm totally cool. I'm not having a breakdown in excitement. I didn't have a heart attack when this happened. Just everything is fine. It seems like a pretty interesting. Okay, I can't. Xenoblade 3 was announced, and my mind was blown. It was going crazy. Oh yeah, and I guess there was a Nintendo Direct too that happened. It was fun because we were watching the Direct in one of my game design classes. Because the teachers, I guess, knew that they couldn't stop most of the students from watching it, or maybe they knew that focusing would be harder. I don't know. Game design students, we're all nerdy. Teachers are nerdy. I think the teachers also wanted to watch the Direct, because they're all game designers too. So we watched it in class. The last 40 minutes of class it fit perfectly in the schedule, and we watched it. And this last reveal, the second it came in, I knew it was Xenoblade. And I was getting really worried that, like, I was getting tricked or something. But there was so much Xenoblade imagery. Everything was, like, fitting into the Xenoblade vibe. It was pretty obvious. And then there was a Nopon, and once the Nopon got on screen, I was that was the moment where the freak out really went to the next level. And then, of course, we got to that final screen, which was crazy. It combined the two box arts from Xenoblade 1 and 2. The key art, they're coming together, those universes. And they even said in, like, a little release that the universes of the two games are going to come together. And, oh, it's crazy. Once that happened, and Xenoblade came onto the screen, and the 3 shot up, I screamed and literally ran a circle around the room. That is not a joke. I have multiple witnesses to this embarrassment, but Xenoblade fans, we don't get to get hyped over a new release all that often, so I'm willing to take that moment and embarrass myself a little. And then when it showed September of this year, the game was releasing, I literally fell on the floor and started rolling for some reason. Oh gosh, that was one of the most exciting reveals I've had, and I know that this is a fairly niche audience, so I was really honored to have this moment where everyone's just like, I don't really care, and then I'm just out there like, yes, it's happening. That was amazing. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen me ramble quite a bit about Xenoblade 3, and that trailer. I've watched it an unreasonable amount of times. It looks like Melia's coming back. Jenna Coleman may have actually come back and done lines. It would make sense because she just did Feature Connected. So if Melia's coming back, Jenna Coleman's coming back. There was a rumor that Jenna Coleman accidentally spoiled that she was in the game. I don't really I watched the same interview and I didn't get the same thing. But yeah, like Melia is very likely back, not confirmed, but it sounded like Jenna Coleman's voice as they showed a character in a mask that looked exactly like Melia. It also looked like Nia was coming back, and again, when they showed Nia, there was a voice that sounded just like Nia. So it seems very likely that Melia and Nia are coming back. There was an older guy who looked very similar to Van Damme, but as we know, that's probably a character that is not Van Damme. I won't spoil what happened, but yeah, spoilers. Van Damme would be a very big surprise if Van Damme was in the game. I think it might be like Zeke or something. I don't know. It's like everything is bonkers and bananas, and it's very exciting. It's a very exciting time to be a Xenoblade fan. Yeah, I've rambled quite a bit on Twitter. If you want to see that, I'll link my Twitter in the bio or in the description. That's the word. I'm normally like, I don't play a ton of games. So like normally for like directs and stuff, I'm pretty tame. It's like, oh, that's exciting, that's fun. It's fun watching it in groups, like seeing what games are announced, because like we do enjoy games even if we don't play them very often. I don't have reactions like I had to Xenoblade 3 very often. That was a new experience for me, to have that reaction. It was like reminded me of like Arlo when Metroid Prime 4 was announced. That was the same vibe that was happening. There's also like a ProZD sketch about like what is it? Kingdom Hearts, where it's like when the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer came in, and it was like the one guy who doesn't know a thing about it, and then like the other guy who's like a mega fan, and he's like, oh, Aqua got Norded, and the other guy's like, I don't know what you mean. I don't have COVID, I promise. That's been me the last few days. Apparently a lot of people on campus just now know me as the Xenoblade person. I've had people come up to me and ask what order they should play the games in, to talk to them about the games, and I hope more people get into the series. Anyway, I'm very excited, and yes, I did just ramble about Xenoblade 3 again for almost 6.5 minutes, which is more than I meant to, but it's fine, because Xenoblade 3 deserves that time. Anyway, let's talk about this direct. So the first thing that was announced, very surprising, was a Fire Emblem Warriors game. And this, I'm not the first one to say this, but it reminded me a significant amount of like Age of Calamity, being that it's another Warriors game, even though they've already had a Warriors game in the series, that's more story focused, using characters from the popular release. Like Age of Calamity was using the same like vibe. It was setting a story in that same universe as Breath of the Wild, and now Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is setting a story in the universe of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. And I really enjoyed 3 Houses. That was awesome. I don't know if I care all that much about having a Warriors game with those characters. But I think it's awesome that we're getting that, because more games is awesome. Musu games are awesome. Fire Emblem 3 Houses is awesome. I think that this will be very interesting. I'm also curious. I'm curious about it because Nintendo has been so vague when explaining the game. They're like, this is the same story that's set like in the universe of like Fire Emblem 3 Houses, but it's like when. It really feels like a different timeline based on the trailer, because we see the younger and older versions of the characters. Like I wonder. It almost feels like it's a retread of the story in Fire Emblem 3 Houses, but now as a Musu game. And I don't think it is, because that wouldn't make sense. I'm wondering if this is canon to 3 Houses. I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. It's just trying to figure out how this fits into things is weird and interesting. And the game looks fine. Like, it's really pretty. Like, it actually makes an improvement on the art style in 3 Houses, just because, like, that game was not visually the greatest. It had some really rough texturing and animation, and like the like skyboxes, the background boxes really that were used in like the one-on-one conversations was not great. So I think this game actually has a chance to like really improve on the art style, because I think there is a cool art style there. Anyway, I'm excited to learn more about it, figure out how it fits into things, and I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy that. That's awesome. Then we have Advanced Wars. And this started a trend of strategy RPGs being revealed or are discussed. We have like Triangle Strategy Advanced Wars. There were a couple of other games that kind of fit into that style. But like, it's already been really cool knowing that an Advanced Wars game is coming out. Like, they were getting getting a rebooted version of the game, and I don't remember if it was already announced. I don't think it was, but there is like a level editor, so you can make your own like Advanced Wars levels, and that's really cool. That was, I think a lot of people were probably hoping for that. Level editors are awesome, and it's a great way to like start getting into like the mindset of game design as like a gamer, you know? because like it gets your creative juices flowing, because like making levels is hard. But it's fun that there are these tools so that people can like explore and be have their own like creative like game building experience, even if it is set within the context of like a game where a lot of things are like set up. I think this is really cool. So yeah, I think that a level editor is an awesome addition to this game. Then we got No Man's Sky. I'm not going to talk about every game that was in the Direct, at least not for a long period of time. I don't have much to say about No Man's Sky. It's weird because like it was another trend in the Direct is that like a lot of these games felt like games that would be like an early Switch cycle game rather than like a mid Switch cycle game. Because like a lot of the early games, it's like, oh, I wonder what games are going to be getting. Like, I wonder what's going to come over. What will I be able to play on my Switch? And like, now that it's later, like now that we're like in the midlife cycle, a lot of it feels like, why wasn't this on Switch earlier? I'm glad it came over at some point. Because the Switch is something that like it's a console that somebody can have for a really long time, because you know you can play it anywhere, and that portability is a really key feature. So having more and more games, even if they came later in the cycle than perhaps we thought would make sense, like it's still really good that these games are coming over. And No Man's Sky has had tremendous improvements since its original, dare I say, disastrous release. So it's like it's a very strong and solid game now, and so it's great that it's coming over to the Switch. I wonder how it will run. We'll see. Then Mario Strikers, which really surprised me because I thought Nintendo was trying to distance themselves from the Mario Strikers games. They weren't like edgy games, but like it was the most violent like Mario game because it had sort of like a cyberpunky aesthetic to it. Like all the characters were like cybernetic. There were some real electric shocks and screams. Like it was not as cartoony as you would expect Mario to be, and I kind of thought they were gonna distance themselves from that image, but no, they're bringing it back. And yes, it is a bit more cartoony than it was, but I think that's okay because like you know what we need to do to get a Mario Strikers game, like I'm all here for it. And the game looks pretty. It still has a lot of that edge and that style, you know. And so I think that this is like the perfect fit for like Mario Strikers with like a modern Nintendo. So I think that that's really cool. It looks awesome. These games are fun, just outright just injecting fun into your veins. So having more of that is always wonderful. Then we had Splatoon 3. They showed some of the Salmon Run. Salmon Run's what it's called, right? Salmon Run? Yeah, I think it's Salmon Run. If I correct myself, I'll let you know. But you know, it looks awesome. Like you have now the feature to throw the salmon egg thingamabobs, which is cool. It looks just like a better Salmon Run, which is great. I think what absolutely needs to happen with Splatoon 3 is that Salmon Run needs to be available at all times. It was so weird in Splatoon 2 when you could only play Salmon Run at certain periods of time. You couldn't just play it whenever you wanted. That was a bizarre decision. And I think that's something that can be fixed in Splatoon 3. We want Splatoon to feel... We don't want Splatoon to feel... Just Splatoon 3 to feel like the definitive Switch Splatoon. As nice as that would be, we want it to feel like something that is expanding. Like it has its own unique purpose for existing. And a lot of that's going to tie into like the single-player campaign. That's the big part that I think will sell people on having another Splatoon on the same console. But yeah, it looks really good. Splatoon is so much fun. That's wonderful. Moving on, there were some games that I'm not going to talk about because I really just don't have anything to say. And I've already talked so much about XENOBLADE, I took up my time. Anyway, there was a Disney kart racer game And yeah, that's fine. That's just there. I bring it up though because like I think it's funny that they announced a a Disney kart racer, and then just a tad later in the direct announced that they were adding 48 new courses to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for $25. Like they stripped away sales of this Mickey Mouse kart, Disney kart, just by doing that. And it almost feels intentional to a degree. But for people who like kart racers and people who like Disney, Speedstorm is for you. We got some other, we got some ports and stuff. We're getting, one of the Star Wars games that some of my friends were arguing about whether or not it was canon. I don't know. I'll just leave that to other people who are more informed on the subject. Then we got an Assassin's Creed Ezio collection, which I think a lot of people are forgetting was actually announced just now. But yeah, no, that's great. That's, I believe, 3 games. I don't know much about Assassin's Creed, but I know that people find the Ezio games to be the best. And so, hey, we get the Ezio games over. That's awesome. That's great. Then we have Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition. This is really cool. I love these old-style JRPGs. And Chrono Cross is iconic. I don't know much about it, but I know that people are very fond of it. So I'm all for having it, and it looks really cool. I love the visual style in these sorts of games, even if it is old and outdated. And yeah, old visuals are really cool, and I like the way it looks. It looks fun. Then, speaking of fun, Kirby. This game looks like an absolute joy. It's so cute. It's so charming. It's so adorable. You're saving the Waddle Dees. You build a little town. And now there's this mouthful mode that's so cool. Yeah, it is like the Odyssey capture mechanic. Everybody has said that. I'll say it too. But, yeah, that mechanic was awesome. So I'm so glad that Kirby gets to have it too. And it's so cute the way that Kirby swallows the car and the animation it does is so clean as he's flipping. Is Kirby a guy or girl? I don't know. As Kirby is flipping around into the cart, and oh gosh, it was so cute. And we have Kirby VLC player. We have Kirby. We have Kirby the vending machine. Kirby the scissor lift. This looks so cool. The visuals, it's just pretty to look at. It looks so much fun. Nintendo knows how to make a fun 3D platformer. That goes without saying. And this game, man oh man, it looks like a wonderful time. This is going to be the feel-good game of the year. It's so adorable. Oh, so ridiculously cute. Kirby is amazing. Protect Kirby at all costs. MLB The Show. It's cool that we're getting it on Switch. Kind of looked like it was running horribly, but for baseball fans, there's baseball. Yeah, what else? Kingdom Hearts. It's still weird that these are cloud editions. It makes sense for Kingdom Hearts 3, but the other ones, it's weird, it's wacky, but it saves money, so I get it. Then Klonoa? Was that how it was said? Klonoa? I don't want to get it wrong because I know this game has a cult following. I'm gonna double check myself. Where is it? Where is it on my list? I'm gonna go with Klonoa, and if I'm wrong, you're allowed to. Yep, there it is, Klonoa. You're allowed to arrest me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I apologize. This looks like a lot of fun. This looks really good. I know nothing about Klonoa, but I know that people love it. I've never heard of this. So this is awesome that we're getting a classic game that people love. And it's awesome because it looks pretty, it looks fun, really charming. And hey, a good platformer is always good. And I love the style. It's like a 2D platformer, but it's defined in 3D space. So it's you're moving two directionally, but the path you're taking isn't completely in 2D, and I like that. I think that creates a really unique style with while opening the design space for some more creative design using your environment. That's awesome. Portal 1 and 2 are coming. That's great. It's another one of those things that's just like, yeah, I'm just glad that it's on the Switch. It feels weird that it's coming now as opposed to earlier, because like the midlife cycle, I don't know, the desire for like these like big games like from the past to come in, like, you know, it's just different now. Like, it doesn't weaken, it's just like different. It's great. I have these games on PC. I've never actually finished 2, but I finished 1, loved it. Almost finished 2. Don't know why I ever stopped. That's what happens when you give a middle schooler a game. You don't finish the game. But yeah, no, this is great. And I hope this allows more people to play the game. Then there was Live Alive, Live Alive, Live Alive. There was the game with the word live, then an A, then the word live again, live or live, however it is, Live space A space Live. That's the game. It's done in the 2D HD style, which is awesome. I really like this art style. I think it's funny that the art style is becoming a series, but the game that introduced the art style, Octopath Traveler, is not yet a series. Like, there are going to be more games in the Octopath art style than there are Octopath games, which I'm here for. Like, Octopath Traveler was not my jam. I know a lot of people was. That's awesome. Happy for you. I'm just glad that like we're getting games that look as pretty as Octopath Traveler, because that presentation in that game was amazing. The music, the art, it was gorgeous. Octopath Traveler is a gorgeous game, and I'm glad that they're giving other games this like gorgeous style. You know, I think that that's really cool, because like, if Octopath Traveler wasn't your jam, well, there's so many other games that look like Octopath Traveler that might actually be your jam. And I think that's great that like they're using the style and giving everybody something that they can enjoy. Then, one of my favorite announcements, Nintendo Switch Sports. The immediate nostalgia that my heart felt. It comes with volleyball, badminton, bowling, soccer, the sword fighting one had a unique name, don't remember, and tennis. The weird thing about this, and discretion, I love this announcement. This is awesome. This is fantastic. It's $40. This is incredible. This is awesome. It's a little weird that we aren't getting all of the games from the original Wii Sports. Like, I understand that we wouldn't get all the games from like Wii Sports Resort, but like even like the original Wii Sports, that's weird. I was hoping that there'd be like baseball in that, because Wii Sports baseball was my thing back in the day. But my brother was crazy about Wii bowling, so I think it'd be really fun to play this game with my brother, to play bowling again in a new coat of paint. I think that'd be really special, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to do that. It's just, yeah, like, I'm honestly okay without boxing. Boxing was one of the weaker sports in the original. Baseball would have been nice, but we're getting golf in the fall via a free update, which I think is great, because not only does it include golf, but it opens up the opportunity that we may have more games added to Nintendo Switch Sports in the future. I'm not saying that like that's something we should expect, but it's certainly a possibility. I think that this game has gotten rushed to release, because it seems weird that they would add golf by a free update rather than just include golf in the base game. And it's simply because development time is taking longer on golf. Like, that has to be my assumption. And I think that this is absolutely a summer game. And so it makes sense for it to release earlier and, you know, bring in golf when it's ready. But, like, this game needs to release by, like, summer. That's when it's going to do the best. So, yeah, I get it. The other theory is that, like, they did it to get us excited about the potential that, like, there are more free updates as we go. I'm hopeful, but, like, I'm not expecting it. Like, if this and golf is all that we get, I'm content, you know? If we get more, that's awesome. There's certainly the possibility, but, like, as it is, this is great. It also opened up the debate about whether or not Miis are dead. Because the characters here maybe aren't Miis. I will take the unpopular opinion, and I recognize they can disagree with me. That's A-okay. That's great. I think that these are technically Miis. You can put your Mii head onto one of these characters. I think that this is like an updated version of the Mii. And it's like, I know a lot of people don't like this style. They would have preferred having like traditional Miis in the game. I get that, like totally understand. I'm here for it though. Like I like the way it looks. I think it looks really cool. I do have a connection. I do have a nostalgic connection to the original Mii's. So like, yeah, I did really like those. But I like the way that this game looks. I like the way the characters look. But that's just me. You're more than welcome to like it or dislike it. You know, that's any of that is up to the player. Totally understand. Different people have different preferences. That's great. Taika no Jitsu, is that how it's pronounced? The rhythm game. I don't know how it's Taiko. I'll just call it Taiko. I have friends that love Taiko. I'm not one of them. But I'm just not like a rhythm game person. I have so many friends that are, and I'm stoked that they get this game, and I hope they're excited for it. Like, I hope that this is the sort of thing that they're... One, I hope that it seemed like a good announcement, you know? And, yeah, like, if people get to enjoy it, then that's a huge win for everybody. Triangle Strategy is getting a demo. That's great. People can test out the game, see if they vibe with it before they buy it. Demos are cool. Metroid Dread is getting a free update with Dread Mode, which is a one-hit kill mode, which some masochists will enjoy. I don't know if a lot of people are going to enjoy it, but, like, hey, it says that, like, yeah, we do care about this game. Like, we are going to pour into it still. And, yeah, like, I think that more Metroid Dread is a good thing. It's a great game. Then we're also getting an easy mode, like a rookie mode, which if I ever do play the game, that I will admit is probably the mode I will play because, one, I'm really bad at games. Two, I enjoy playing games more for leisure because as games are part of my job and part of what I do for work, when I play games, I want to be able to like relax with them. And I also like being able to like play games that aren't necessarily fun. I've been an advocate of my channel that games don't have to be fun to be good, and I believe that, and it's really interesting to study stories. I'm not always about playing games that are difficult. And you know, that's a me thing. It does not mean that is the correct way to play games. I'll yield. But yeah, I think it's good that they're making the game accessible to all players. They're also adding a boss rush mode later, which is awesome. That's great. Wonderful. Then we get Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings on the Switch Online, the base one, not the expansion pack, which I think is great. Like, it's great that we have an easier way to play these games. That's wonderful. I almost wish that they were their own separate release because I don't want to pay a subscription to play them. But you know, that's just me wanting to be wise with my limited money. But like for other people, like this is what they want. Go for it. Like, that's great, and I'm glad that they're giving more content to the Switch Online. And yeah, you know, the more that they have on there, the better the value is, and that's always a good thing. Then let's see, where should we go? Mario Kart 8 Booster Pack. When they first announced that it was 48 courses coming over 6 waves, first of all, my jaw dropped. When they said $25, I thought they meant $25 per wave, which I was like, wow, that is expensive. But I guess it makes sense. But no, it's $25 for all the courses. All 48 courses, $25. That's awesome. That is so cool. That is amazing. I'm so excited. That's a steal. I love that we're getting more content. I know people wanted Mario Kart 9, but it's like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe already has such good racing mechanics. That like the big thing that I want is more courses, because like I don't think that right now necessarily we need a reinvention of how racing works. In Mario Kart, I think it works great in 8 Deluxe, and I'm glad that we just get to have like more courses as a part of that. And yeah, it's selling crazy well. Is it like over 50 million? I don't know. It might be close. It's somewhere that it's selling way higher than one would expect. This is going to send sales even further through the roof. But like, yeah, it makes sense that we're getting more 8 Deluxe rather than 9, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm excited. We're getting Coconut Mall again. That is something to like get up and dance over. What's also really cool is that we could get Waluigi's Pinball, and I want Waluigi's Pinball to come back. And I also hope that each of these courses gets their own like jazzy music. I hope that the music is to the same level as the rest of the courses in 8 Deluxe, because gosh, that music is so good. And having like orchestrated versions of some of these songs that were in original Mario Karts, previous Mario Karts, that is, that would be super duper. But yeah, no, I think that this is awesome. Just please give us Waluigi's Pinball at any point. That would be fantastic. Either way, 48 new courses, that's a whole heck of a lot. That means that there will be nearly 100 courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So I'm here for it. That's a lot of racing. Like, this is becoming just the definitive racing game. Some people enjoy that, some people don't. I think it's great. It's also, you get to play these courses for free if you have the Switch Online expansion pass. Cool. As I understand it, you can only play it while you have the pass. It isn't like you get the pass, now you have the game for free, because then everyone could get it for like $7. No, it's like you buy the pass, and when you have the pass, you can play more courses, whatever. I think that the expansion pass is kind of a failed idea. I don't think it really worked as well as they wanted it to, and I think they made a lot of mistakes. I think that was pretty messy. But it's good that they're adding more to that, so that people who did want that, which is totally valid if you do want that, that's great. Now you have more stuff to play, and I'm happy for you. Then, of course, XENOBLADE 3. I'm not going to... Well, maybe I am. I don't want to keep rambling about this game, because this video is already almost as long as a direct. So thank you for continuing to listen to me. XENOBLADE 3 is awesome. I've made a video on XENOBLADE 1, 2, and Future Connected. The Future Connected one is honestly one of the worst videos I've made, so if you don't watch that one, that's cool. I would really appreciate it if you watched the XENOBLADE 1 and 2 video. If you want to talk about XENOBLADE with me, listen. Get into my comments section, talk to me. I will talk with you about XENOBLADE. I will vibe with anyone who wants to just talk about XENOBLADE. I'm so unfathomably excited for this game. This is the game I'm gonna buy on release. I don't do that much. This is a game I have to. Anyway, we've been talking for a while. My throat's very dry. I had a good time though. So thank you so much for listening to my rambles. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the future of the Switch. It still has a long life ahead of it. We're getting some awesome games. This was a great direct. I loved it, and I hope you liked it too. Anyway, bye.